But once again, we're back. Spinner Swallow Beer Review. I'm with Jammer fan, Shagdog here.
Jammer fan here. Sorry, I was trying to do the clapping.
Golf clap.
Yeah, I was just trying to do the quick clapping because I'm trying to represent. I could never replace Jammer, but I'm a Shagdog fan tonight. But I'm also just another talking head.
Jammer is going to be quite upset when he finds out we did beer reviews without him.
Hey, maybe that'll motivate him to step up, right?
Yeah.
Jam. Just kidding, sorry.
That's true.
He's gonna be like, I hate you now, Jammer fan. You're banned. You're banned, Jammer fan. All right. Oh, nice.
I'm doing Rouges Double Chocolate Stout.
Man, that's a really nice can. It makes me think of Valentine's Day chocolates or something.
Oh yeah, and also in the two little bars here, it says "Share Me," but I almost thought it said "Shake Me," so I was going to shake the can.
Oh, you were going to shake it up? Bad idea.
But it says "Share Me."
Right.
This one, it gets a Beer Advocate score of 94. It's an American Imperial Stout, 9% ABV, and it's from the great state of Oregon, which is Rogue Ales Brewing Company, which is in Newport, Oregon. And what you got there, Jammer fan?
Well, would you mind looking at the Beer Advocate score for me? I had the batch 19. I'll talk about it while you can maybe look up the score if that's cool.
Yeah, I got it already. You ready for it?
Yeah.
According to Beer Advocate, 76, and it gets a 5.5% ABV, and it's American Adjunct lager.
Here's the side of the can that says pre-prohibition style lager. And then it just basically, on this part of the can here, if anybody out there wants to see, it just talks about, it's been lost for 100 years. They brought it back, I guess, in 2019, right? If it's from 1919 and it's been 100 years, they probably brought it back in 2019. I would guess that maybe is that why they call it batch 19, because it's from 2019 or because it's from 1919?
Possibility, yeah, because it came out here. They redid it back in 2014 or somewhere around there.
Yeah, I don't know.
2015.
It's something to that extent. I like how the Coors products, it does give you the calories and stuff. 1.8 grams of protein. We can see here from the ingredients that there is no corn. It's water, barley malt, hops, and yeast. 1.8 grams of protein, 167 calories.
Wow.
It's actually pretty low calorie for being a robust beer. For what that's worth to our viewers, It's
this has it says we doubled down on our chocolate stout recipe to create this Imperial version of the classic. It's just too good to deny. So share this with a special friend or treat yourself and enjoy this luxuriously creamy stout featuring intense notes of chocolate and dark roasted malts. And they have a little star on here. And then
nice.
Star.
I've seen that star. Yeah. Can you get it in focus real quick? It was just out of focus. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's focused on the roast and chocolate, but you should get a little bit of bitter with that malt, right?
Yeah,
and
a little bit of sweet malt and a little tiny bitter.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So what's the ABV again on that?
9%.
That's interesting because double chocolate stout is actually, in my opinion, style. We have some double chocolate stouts in Colorado, and they tend to be, they double down on the chocolate flavor. I think you're really going to get a malted milkshake kind of flavor, but with some bitterness. We'll see. Let's see what happens. See what happens, buddy. How's it looking? Can you see through it? Is it any ruby highlights, or is it just motor oil?
It's pretty dark. Even the head's dark.
I could see some tiny ruby highlights as the head was equalizing with the bubbles. But it's there's a slight ruby tinge to the bubbles at the bottom of the head, but it's basically black. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there might be a little redness in there, but ruby, it's pretty black. So it looks like oil.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, it looks like a milkshake too. That's what I'm saying, man. This is gonna be. I think this is gonna be like a milkshakey kind of style,
Mm-hmm. It's chocolatey, a lot of chocolate.
I'm just wondering if you're going to get those Whopper malt ball type of flavors, or if it's going to be more bitter chocolate and like bitter coffee.
Yeah, I hope it's more of a dark chocolate and bitter coffee. I don't like Whopper chocolate, malt chocolate.
Well, it sounds like you're going to be more. I'm wondering if you're going to get that piney coffee, kind of more chocolate, like mint chocolate. Then, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they pull it off.
Yeah, because the malt the malt is sweet on there, or high. The malt is high, the sweet's low. So yeah, it might be a little maltier than sweet, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Just like chocolate. All I can smell is chocolate, actually. Like a little bit of a sweet, malty chocolate.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and pour the Coors, buddy.
All right.
So this can is good until like April 2nd of 21. So this is the 2021 vintage of this beer.
Wow.
I splashed a little bit, tiny bit of condensation on my keyboard, but it's okay. Luckily, a couple like months ago, I spilled a beer on my keyboard, dude. I spilled a beer on my laptop. A couple splashes is okay. Like I just spilled a couple drops. I'm really paranoid, so I'm like polishing it off. But yeah, I hit my laptop with a full like Bud Light. It was bad. I did not. That was not a fun experience.
They actually have at the bottom of this can stamped the date canned on January 3rd, 2021 at 12:04.
This one just gives me the Best By date with like a weird gobbledygook code with like a little blue. You know, have you ever seen the color coat, the colored inks on the bottom of the cans before, like a yellow or a blue? I don't know what's up with that, man.
No, maybe it's because they do tires like that too, right?
I know, yeah. I just saw a tire the other day like that on a new car. It had the little dots and stuff. It's a manufacturing thing, I guess. But anyway,
this one has a phone number on the bottom too. It says text.
Oh yeah.
Something
West Coast breweries do that a lot of times.
Want to chat? Text said that phone number, which I've done it before. Jammer would make me do that because we'd be drunk. Yeah, go ahead, text it. I forget what company it was, and I text them, and then a lady called me back too. I was like, oh my god. And then she called back like while we were not on video. And I said, oh, I was just calling to ask a question. Okay, we were hoping to get somebody live on the video, but yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So this is actually even darker than the last video. Both these beers are much darker than normal Coors beers.
Yeah.
And this also does not have any kind of rice or corn or anything in it. I have a closet that I've measured the temperature in. It's a pantry that I'll store beer in and stuff sometimes, and it's about 58 degrees in there. So this is kind of served about in Prohibition. You didn't have refrigerators and stuff. You know what I mean? You probably had it. Like it was probably 50, 60 degrees.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's way more caramel and way more soft malt, like a good rye bread with like sweet buttered honey on it and like maybe a tiny floweriness, but it's not astringent. It's nowhere near as like a Czech Pilsner, like the what do they classify this as on Beer Advocate?
They say adjunct lager, actually.
Yeah, the other one was some kind of different The Barman was a different category, right?
So maybe they do have some corn in that. Maybe
I don't know. Yeah, possibly. It's the Barman was like a total like Hell's beer kind of thing or something. I think you said it was like it was an actual like German style beer. This is like I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's I think you would like it because it has all the best parts of a red lager or amber ale without the citrusy hops and the parts you don't like, where it's like too much of like those other flavors. It's just like it just gives you that toasted. It kind of reminds me of like a Killian's Red kind of thing, only smoother and maybe a little bit better. And this one's 5.5. I thought the Barman was 5.5. This one is 5.5.
Yeah, that's what Beer Advocate says, I think. This one's pretty it's It's Imperial Stout, and it's pretty chocolatey and strong, actually. Rugby. Hold on.
Rugby. From what I know about Rogue, because I've had a lot of their beers, actually, I really like this brewery. They go for bitter, and like there's no way that knowing them, this is going to be chocolatey, but it has to have like some pininess and some bitteriness.
Yeah, it's definitely bitter. Even the can, I think
they show that there's
a little. Well, it actually only shows a little bitter in the can, but it's a little more bittery than I like for a stout.
It says more malt than sweet, though, right? It's more malt than sweet.
More malt than sweet.
And I think that means you're going to get more of. It's going to be malty, but not.
Yeah.
You're going to get more of the alcohol flavor, more of the. I mean, it's a almost 10% beer.
Yeah. It's all right. This is definitely a one-can beer for me. It's a little bit too. Even the chocolate's too like a dark chocolate. It's not bad. It's a little bit too much for me, I think, though. Yeah, I think that dark chocolate and just that maltiness is just a little too much. But it's not bad. But I wouldn't be able to drink more than one of these. I think I'd get sick from it. That's how much chocolate and maltiness is in there. It's like if I was, what's that his name, Willy Wonka, and I was that little fat kid that got put through the chocolate and through the tube. I feel like that fat kid. Fat kid falls in.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but yeah.
Not Veruca Salt, but the fat kid.
No,
Veruca Salt. I only remember her because there was a band later on called a female rock band called Veruca Salt. Veruca Salt.
Yeah, I remember Veruca Salt. I think the kid that played the blonde kid in Bad Santa played that fat kid in Willy Wonka, right? The Johnny Depp version.
Oh, I don't know about the Johnny Depp version. I didn't like that version.
Yeah.
The Johnny Depp version was like weird. It was like a child molester was Willy Wonka.
Yeah, I didn't like it very much, man. It was very Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. That's it.
No, he based his performance off Michael Jackson, I guess. I read that.
That was really weird. Hey, yeah, now that you mentioned it, I said child molester. You said Michael Jackson. Wow.
Nah, he was like that.
We were just playing, what's that, 100,000 hour password? I said child molester. You said Michael Jackson. It's like.
No, but like if you look at him, he looks very Michael Jackson-y. If you go back,
he does. Yeah, a little Michael Jackson-y, a little femme Johnny Depp. Maybe a little bit like Michael Jackson mixed with Edward Scissorhands or with a
I didn't like. It was disturbing. A normal person would see that movie and just be disturbed.
Yeah, because totally different than the Gene Wilder version. I mean, he's like, oh, I mean, it was too feminist type. It was weird. I don't know.
Yeah, both movies are weird, but the Gene Wilder one feels a little more rooted in reality, even though he does crazy stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's classic.
Yeah, it's classic.
Even the Oompa Loompas were better back then. I don't know.
They were. It was just the one guy multiplied tons of times in the Johnny Depp one. They had that guy who was like, and they just they replicated. Yeah. They only had one actor. Yeah. They kind of like just made him in Photoshop and just cloned them and stuff.
Yeah, they should have got a bunch of midgets to do it, or small people, or whatever, little people.
They did in the first one, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a bunch of different little people. They look a little bit alike, but most little people do. Same kind of short, stubby arms.
We don't want to alienate any viewers out there that may, be of sort of persuasion.
I don't know if you saw any of our beer reviews, and me and Jammer talked about midgets, and we said we're going to put a board up here.
I think
different girls I need to get with before I die. Like I've been with an amputee before, so now I got to get a midget. I got to get an arm amputee, a whole bunch of stuff like that. But anyhow, I was on a certain dating site, and this midget, she happened to be a black girl, midget, writing me, wanting to get with me. So I think we said on the beer review, I might not have said it on the beer review, while she was chatting with me, I was like, are you into I just thought of this on the spot because she's brown, we're white bread, brown. I said, you into meatloaf sandwiches? Where the bread, she's the meat. And she's like, "What's that?" I was like, two white guys, like black midget, meatloaf sandwich. She's like, "No," but she said, "You can lick my asshole." I was like, "Oh." Anyhow, that's enough of that. 9% beer.
Yeah, it's that's a pretty strong ABV, man. Usually when I get up into that territory, I start to feel it kind of quick. I've been sticking with I've been just buying like lighter beers lately because I've been just cheap.
Yeah.
But I will say, dude, this was a good buy. This 12-pack for $9.99. It came with the Barman and the Batch 19, 4 of each, and then 4 banquets. That's not bad for $9.99.
Now I can't remember because I think I said I saw that one Belgian, New Belgium beer that you said with
the Mountain Time. Yeah, it was part of the Folly Pack, but I don't know if you guys have pure packages where you can just so the Mountain Time's actually supposed to be a budget beer that they're selling in bulk. I only see it, but it pissed me off when I saw it in the Folly Pack because it's kind of like somebody putting Bud Light in like a craft beer pack. Like that's they're saving money by sticking that in there because it's their cheap beer.
Kind of like when Sam Adams always puts their Boston Lager in with all their variety
like
packs.
A big move, like you already know they're selling that cheap. They throw it in there as filler.
Not even they don't sell that much cheaper than the other ones, but okay, you already know they're Boston Lager. Why would if you're doing a variety pack, Sam Adams or Boston Brewing Company has like 30, 40 different beers they're brewing. Why put the Boston Lager in there?
Yeah. And so Mountain Time's good, but I like it because it's $20 a case, $19.99 a case.
That's good. Yeah.
But the Folly Pack is $16.99 for a 12-pack. So you would hope they wouldn't be shoving in 3 of their 80-cent beers in there.
I think it was about the same price here, maybe $1 or less.
Yeah. It's like usually the Folly Pack's like $15.99 or $16.99, right?
Yeah.
But it does. The winter one actually came with a bunch of really high ABV beers. I don't know if you've ever seen their Imperial Voodoo. I think that's 9% now. So, and I've seen that those stovepipe cans are like 19. Those skinny, tall ones, they're like 19 ounces. Seen those?
I've never seen 19 ounce. No.
Have you ever seen those Dale's Pale Ale cans? They have these really tall cans. There's these tall, skinny cans they call stovepipes. Anyway, they sell one that's the Voodoo Ranger Imperial. It's basically like a 20-ounce can of a 9% beer that's like $3. And it's like they have a good price point on this beer. So it's, you can get some good deals from New Belgium. You just have to kind of look for stuff, But I don't think you would like a cheap double IPA because you don't like double IPAs really in general anyway. So I think you'd probably would like a traditional malt liquor if you just wanted to buy it.
I don't know about traditional. I'm not a big malt liquor fan myself. Back in my young days, maybe.
Well, you and Jammer review them sometimes. That's the only reason I was saying.
Yeah. Well, the first time we did the malt liquors, because I think last time I had a malt liquor, I think I was in the Army. And then I got out of the Army, I went to Pennsylvania. I don't think I did malt liquors that year. When we moved down here, I did Old English one time. I was working at a juice factory, same place where I met Jammer. I bought an Old English one time. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I drank crap like this. And then when we started doing the beer reviews, we saw people did they only do malt liquor. So we're like, oh, we got to get the malt liquor. But we poured it into glasses. He found we only got 32 ounces here, but he found a couple. We did glass actual review on them. And I almost yacked, especially off the Schlitz Blue Bowl, the OMG, original malt liquor, OML or whatever. But I think that bottle was bad because it tasted raunchy. Like it was probably in that store for a year, probably. Because we did that a couple weeks ago, and it didn't taste bad at all, actually. But out of the can, of course. But yeah, I'm not a big malt liquor fan at all. But we like doing the videos because we did that one time. We did Shagdog's. Kind of like the guy from Saturday Night Live. I'm not good enough. Nobody likes me. And then I'm good enough. I'm smart enough.
Stuart Smalley.
Yeah. And that's what I did. And then he did Deep Thoughts. deep malt liquor thoughts.
Yeah.
So we did those videos, which were great the first time we did them, but he had the actual music from each one, and they got banned. Like the first time we did them, they had a lot of views, and they got banned within like 1 day. So then he had to re-upload them without the actual intro music, that we're on Saturday Night Live. And then we didn't get as many views, but I thought they were pretty good. Plus, my ex-girlfriend called me one time, and I was like, oh, yeah. That was pretty good. But his was good too because he did that deep malt liquor sauce. He's come up with a bunch of you know what, that cookie, different types of malt liquor, cookie dough, CDML, cookie dough malt liquor. A whole bunch of weird stuff. Yeah.
Nice. So, dang, dude, that looks like a thick beer. It looks like you're kind of like it might be a little bit before you can power through that bad guy. Was that a pint?
Yeah, it's a pint.
A pint at 9%. You're not splitting that with Jammer, or anything. That's
that's the
that might be a night ender. That might be a night. Is that going to be a night ender for you? You're going to KO on this one?
I still got to eat dinner. That's cooking right now, but I might be all right.
What are you cooking up, man? I love food. I cook all the time.
My maid is cooking me some pasta right now. Some I think some ziti, big ziti, I think. Yeah, my maid. But yeah, that's why it's great to do beer reviews with a partner because you can split these. And then sometimes jammers will buy something like this and get 2 of them. I'm like, man, why'd you get 2 of them? Because it's going to be a good one. I'm like, yeah, but still. So instead of doing, if we have 8 beers, we got to split them all. That's 4 beers a piece. That's great. We did 8 beer reviews. I'm at 4 beers technically, right? We split them. But then if we get 2 of each, like last time we did beer reviews, last time we did the beer reviews, I think 4 or 5 beer reviews we did. Most of them were 2 beers. So I was done after that. I was like, okay, that's like 5.5 beers we actually did. He was like, he wanted to do more, but I was like, I can't. I'm done. But even thinking about way back in the day, I don't know if you ever saw our videos we did with white chocolate and Pussycat.
Yeah, I remember that.
We showed the girl down.
You'd show the mid-drift. I was always kind of like, all right, what's going on with these videos,
she didn't want to show her face, but we did beer reviews with them, and we split. We had like 1 split between 4 of us. We didn't plan on doing it with them. Otherwise, we probably would have bought 2 at least, but they said they wanted to do beer reviews with us. We had singles, so we were like, okay. So we did like 4 or 5 reviews with them. But we split all of them between 4 of us, 5 or 6. I forgot how many it was with them. Then after that, we went to my brother's house, and we did beer reviews with him that same night. So we did like 20 beer reviews that night. But we figured we split 4. I mean, we weren't that bad. Maybe a little bit later on, but. Yeah, we had a couple later on that we had 2 of, so when we went to my brother's house, but yeah. So if you're splitting them, you could do more reviews. We discovered that. And look who else is doing double beer reviews now. Ronald Riot.
Yeah.
He has his friend he does beer reviews with.
Yeah, that guy with the beard, right?
Yeah.
That big bearded dude.
So, I mean, they do some liquor, I think, sometimes too, but sometimes they're splitting the beer. You can do a lot more beer reviews if you're splitting it with somebody. So,
yeah,
they learn from the best.
You guys have been doing it for a while, man. But I'm drinking with you, Shag. So I'm just trying to I'm about halfway through my beer, so I'm trying to wait for you to catch up before
Hey, I'll get there. Hey, did you ever do beer reviews by yourself on here, or you just joined? Because I see you did one with Ronald Riot, one of his group things.
Yeah, so. Up until recently, I have preferred to just join these big group interviews, where it looks like the Brady Bunch. There's a bunch of people and then everybody gets to go. They're 2-hour long casts and you only get to talk for about 5 minutes of that 2 hours. It's a long thing, but it's cool to be part of that. I did that for a little bit and I kind of got burnt out on that circuit because again, it's you get to talk for 5 minutes of the 2 hours. But
do you find when you're doing that, it's certain 1 or 2 people are talking the most, and you're like,
yeah, but usually it's the host or I mean, I like Ron, and I'm not trying to trash him, but Ron was actually kind of a celebrity in that circle. Like, he got to talk a lot, and like, you know.
But is he a good moderator? Because I didn't watch the whole one of those.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you think?
Look, he's really fair, really good. He if he was hosting it, he was fair. If he was appearing on somebody else's channel, they usually let him go first and let him talk a lot. But he's real knowledgeable. But he never was rubbing anybody's face in it. Like, if I was just joining as a peon, just a nobody like I was, like, you just get a couple minutes to talk about whatever you got or whatever, you know. But it was still cool. Like, the communities were always nice, and people seemed to. I would always bring on crazy beers. You know me. I'm like, I kind of like these really extreme Colorado beers. I'm lucky to live somewhere where I can like bring on like a prickly pear cream cheese beer or something. I literally just had a prickly pear cream cheese beer. Seriously.
I like the cream cheese part of that.
But it was like it tasted like a fruity bagel, like a strawberry bagel or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. They brewed it with cream cheese powder and prickly pear puree.
Now I think we did do a prickly pear beer
from Shiner, right?
Maybe that was Shiner, yeah.
Shiner did a prickly pear beer. I forget what it was, but I think it was like a prickly pear sour or ale or something like that. It was like a summertime, right? Like a summertime quencher.
Could have been, yeah. Yeah, you know, the first year we did beer reviews, someone I forget the name of the the YouTube channel. There was like 4 guys. They had actually like a bar thing going on, and it was like a panel. And what the hell is the name of that beer review? I can't remember what it was called now, but Better Beer Nation or whatever the heck it was called. But they actually did a poll, like, who's your best top 10 beer reviewers? Let us know. And people voted, which we didn't make it, but 1 or 2 people said the Spit or Swallow beer review. Those guys are really funny, you know. And we actually got 2 votes, as far as I know, through the comments.
What? That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and that's when we first started.
I'm so mad that your channel got unfairly taken off because of like some picture of a woman on a beach in like a thong bikini that was like, you guys had used that image before. It was compared to that on YouTube. It was
it could have been that, although there was something else I did on my phone. I had something on my phone. I went like this it might have been that, even though you couldn't tell what it was because this girl was dressed up like the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
But she was naked, but she's painted like green, you know?
Yeah, it could just set some algorithm off and pissed off the robots, you know?
Yeah. It could have been something like that. We don't know. They don't tell you what it is.
They don't.
Then when you got to fight it, you have to tell them what you think it is. You know, it's like really stupid. Typical communist America.
That is some censorship shit for no reason. You guys you guys got caught up in like some censorship for no reason kind of bullshit.
Yeah, and he couldn't, I guess because of his IPS address or
IP address. Yeah.
IP address. He couldn't. He tried to set up a new channel. He couldn't because it kept detect something.
Yeah, no, that's what I was afraid that was going to happen when you guys started a new channel. But
so I did this one, of course, from my house. So same name, you know.
And you guys aren't like doing anything wrong. Your channel's just beer reviews, dude. Like that's it.
Yeah, I mean, occasionally we get off the deep end, especially me.
You guys talk. Yeah, I've heard your politics and stuff.
Yeah, and sexual. We might say crazy sexual stuff or something once in a while, yeah. Just joking around, yeah.
I think it's funny. I think you guys are funny.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a good one to talk about. I was like, hey, think of some subjects to talk about. So I'm waiting to do beer reviews with them.
I like when you guys do like the theme, like, you know, top best actor. You guys were like doing like, I don't know, some kind of like most stoic actors or most charismatic. You guys like do like themed like things sometimes or celebrity.
Once in a while we think of something on the spot. You know, like last time we did this or that, and I said Ginger. We went through. I had a list already pre-written. I was just going to ask Jammer, you know, Ginger or Marianne, and this person and this person.
Yeah,
that he'd want to be with, but he's like, he joined right in, and he just off the top of his head, what do you want, this person or that person? You know?
Yeah.
So it worked out pretty good, actually. But next, I said we could do that, this or that. Next time I can say, okay, this or that. You know, would you rather have, you know, TV shows or ice cream flavors. Who knows? Yeah.
You're all right. Now you're getting a little closer to me, man. Like this, like I'm about like a little under half. It
Yeah.
seems like I can't tell quite because of your pint glass or not, but it looks like
Jammer has a glass just like that, but it's one of the German beers. I forget which one it is.
And this is my. Let's see if I can get the logo again. The big beaver. Look at that thing.
Oh, I see what. Yeah, I see where it's going. That beaver.
You see what they're doing, right? All right, just making sure, bro. Making sure you're with me, man.
Now I'll save this one for Jammer, but I might as well go out with it right now. Nobody's going to watch it this far into the video anyhow, so it don't matter. Of course, this is bigger news like a week or two ago, but the thing that Biden signed off with saying, women, transgender men women that used to be men can compete against women or whatever,
Yeah, it's just that thing.
Which is kind of stupid because a man is no matter you think you're a woman, whatever, you're still going to be stronger than a woman, even though you're changed. Even if you take hormone pills, you're going to be strong like a man almost, compared to a woman.
South Park actually did an episode on that. If you type in like South, like it was like, but the argument I've heard from the left is saying that like, everybody's biology is different, et cetera, et cetera. Like we need more like data. We need more data to like figure out like.
Yeah, but look, if I identify as a woman, I could, even at almost 50 years old, I can still run pretty fast, sprint or whatever, 40-yard dash or something. Probably not, not like an NFL player or anything, but I can run pretty fast, like a man, an average man. Yeah. I think I'm going to beat a woman at a 40-yard, average woman at a 40-yard dash. So if I just all of a sudden identify myself as a woman right now, I'm probably going to beat some women and, like start plucking my eyebrows or whatever the hell I want to do. I'm going to be a woman. I'm going to beat those bitches.
And that's exactly what the South Park episode makes fun of. I think that there's another side of it that, just to be fair, because so let me preface this by saying that Jammer one time was talking about how most people are sort of in the middle on politics, and we're both so close to. Everybody's so close to being on one side of the issue or another, right? Like most people are somewhere closer to the middle. Yeah, like I'm not a flaming crazy liberal that's like socialism, blah, 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 but I'm also not a QAnon person. I
don't know what the hell. I hear people say that. I don't know what that is. I've heard of it.
Yeah, honestly, they say recently it's merged with evangelicalism. Like it's basically this like theory that like you're part of the holy chosen people, and there's going to be a reckoning, which is one day where all the liberals are going to be drug out in the streets and killed. And like it's the great cleansing. It's the storm. It's the releasing of the Kraken.
I believe the opposite of that. I believe they're going to try to drag conservatives out and kill us.
No, it's like a cleansing and killing of all the out groups. It's
that's weird.
I have no problem with Republican beliefs, but I think crazy, weird doomsday cults are like nope.
Oh yeah, and I think the same with the extreme far left.
Yeah, like dude, nobody wants like actual real socialism. Real socialism means that there's no free market, there's no free thought. You can't start your own business.
I'll give you an example there, Jammer fan. I went out on a date with a Cuban girl back in August. We went. COVID-19, so we wore masks. Met at a trail, Hillsborough State Park. Went walking on the trail. So she's telling me about, she's lived in America for 8 years. Her brother has been here already. He got her to come over, and the mother didn't like it here. The mother went back. She likes the opportunities here. Like, you can get different pairs of sneakers and different brands and a whole bunch of stuff like that. But she doesn't like the fact that there's medical's not free and education's not free, and she misses that. She says, I'm poor like I was in Cuba, but at least in Cuba I got free medical and free college. I'm like, but she says, here I got more choices of stuff to get that I can get. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. So you can get more stuff here, but you miss that because of the free education, free medical.
Let me ask you this, man. So I don't want free healthcare. But is it unreasonable that I want the government to try to enforce a regulation of pharmaceutical prices like Canada does, so we're not getting railroaded by unfair prices, and to make sure that CEOs aren't making like 1,000 times what their workers are, and that there's like some kind of structure just to make sure these people aren't cheating.
I understand that. Yeah. I mean, I don't think a CEO should be making $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
Doing
Yeah,
nothing,
and you know what? I want to pay for health insurance. I want to pay for copays because that's going to give me better access to health insurance. If it's just free, people are just abusing it. And it gets crazy, and then it's like Canada. It's backed up like the famous thing, like a pregnant woman. The doctor says we can see in 13 months, and she's like, "Well, I'm due in 9.5." Like it's, like Americans don't want free, quote unquote, healthcare, which is going to get paid for by taxes anyway. There's no free anything, right? But I think that in America, like, man, like there's scandals of CEOs buying up a drug rights for stuff and then raising it by 1,000%, and like for like rare treatments of like, have you ever heard of that? Like where they'll take a rare drug and they'll make it so the patients have to pay $10,000 a month or they die or something. Like, I think evil shit like that needs to get curbed, but I don't want social.
Even that, I don't know how much it costs now, but that hepatitis C drug, which cures 90, it's a pretty expensive drug.
Yeah.
And you're going to charge people that much to cure themselves of this disease that's going to kill them,
And if there's some reason that it costs that much, okay, if it's going to stop somebody from dying, set them up with the payment plan or something then at least, right? Like, I mean, if I was about to die and you're like, well, it's $20,000, but we can set you up like, with a $50 a month payment. Okay. Like I'll pay it to live.
Yeah, that's good.
I just, it's tough, man. I think a lot of the issues, I don't think people want free stuff, but they also don't want to get screwed over by Scrooge McDuck rich people who are just taking advantage of the system, right?
Right.
And at the same time, somebody who's paid their premiums for 20 years and has like dumped all this money into the healthcare system, and then all of a sudden you're giving everybody else a free pass. Like, oh, we're just going to lower it all now and everybody gets everything. It makes people who have like paid into it and worked hard. It's just like the minimum wage thing. You guys were talking about how you were working for the city and you had to work hard for that. It's like if you've worked 15 years to get to that $15 and then everybody just gets it for free because of nothing, that's going to piss you off as a hardworking American, right?
Yeah, especially, I mean, someone who works for the state and they're making like, I think most recent raise they're getting like 17. The job I had with the state, $17 an hour if you're certified, somewhere around there. So now you're making $2 more than minimum wage. Minimum wage, I think, should be increased.
Sure,
but not $15. Maybe in certain cities like New York, I don't know about Seattle if they have it already or not. Big cities, maybe, but places like this, and even the state of Florida, is the cost of living is low. Although it's going up because
I think each industry has its own wages. That's why it's hard to do a blanket minimum wage. And as much as I kind of hate unions, in some ways you do need a negotiation between worker and industries where they can get like, I think we need to come up with some kind of moderate unions where they don't get super out of control.
Right.
But the workers can collectively bargain on salary.
Yeah, a lot of things with unions are like most of them are rip-offs, especially here in Florida. The unions are non-existent. They have them, but like for the state employee, it's like nothing. Yeah.
But you see what I mean? That instead of a minimum wage, each industry should negotiate with their employer a fair wage. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, with us, when I worked for the state, we couldn't go on strike. It's just law, part of the state law. We can't go on strike. Of course, we could, but they're going to fire us and bring in the National Guard, basically, is all they're going to do. But you should, I mean, for what we had, when I started working there, it was $14.60. Once you got certified, $14.60 an hour. And then that was 2003. And then when I left there in by 2007, it was $14.83 an hour. And then when I went back, I quit in 2013. Went back in 2015. It was still 280 or 1483 an hour.
Yeah.
And so you figure all those years, 2003 to 2017, went up 20 cents an hour as a state employee, at a prison. For Florida being the third or fourth most populated state, and we have the highest inmates population, even more than California. But we're the 40th lowest paid for state corrections. Wyoming makes more than us. Wyoming correction officers make more than Florida correction officers. Pretty sad.
Yeah.
That's why I'm out of that place now. So not only because of the pay, but it's a stressful environment.
One sec. I'm gonna go grab my rest of my beer cans over here. Let me go grab it real quick. I wanna finish up here with you, man.
Pieces, blues by hand.
All right. And I still actually have one more beer. If you're down, I can do Coors Banquet because this pack came with 3 different beers.
Hey, I can do a Miller High Life next.
And I could do Coors Banquet. We could just do and Miller and Coors are basically the same company, right?
Yeah, true. Something like that.
So we could do, and I would say that Banquet and High Life are 2 of the more classic brands that Coors makes. Classic, old school taste. Coors Light's actually oddly good. It has a weird estery banana-y note sometimes that I get that reminds me of a Belgian beer almost. Have you ever gotten that in Coors Light? There's a weird estery. I don't know. Coors Light tastes different to me than Bud Light or Miller Light or
Coors Light to me tastes a little bit more watery, but there's a little.
But it has there's a taste. There's an aftertaste.
Yeah, a weird sweetness to it too. I think a little sweetness.
I get this banana-y, estery, kind of like stank bread.
I think there's some Indians standing up at the top of the Rocky Mountains pissing into that stream and say, "Screw you, white people."
All right, man. Well, we can't end this video. I just poured, and I'll hit it with the camera one more time for those watching. Batch 19. We have to grade this. Did we? I haven't given a grade for mine yet.
I don't think I did I?
No, we didn't. We had to. That's why we got to finish up with the grade.
We should have done that 35 minutes ago.
Well, let's finish up right.
I'm going to give this A- and a swallow.
I got to give this one from Coors another A, only because, dude, how often do you get Batch 19 or the Barman?
Every 19 years.
I'm giving it an A. I'm giving it a Swarter. It's just
You give it a Swarter?
Yeah.
Wow.
An A and a Swarter. But look at that, dude. Still has lacing on the glass. Coors Banquet.
It still has underneath it has little foam lines or something.
Yeah, well, that's just because of I don't want to spill fucking beer on my laptop again, so I'm just being conservative on how I'm
No, you're being conservative now, huh?
Oh, you son of a gun, Shagdog. You're lucky I'm Shagdog fan tonight. You're lucky I'm Shagdog for tonight.
Now, speaking of conservatives, do you think they're going to pull Biden out of office eventually and say he's not fit to be president?
Before I answer that, so QAnon is that crazy cult, right? Yeah. They think that Biden is a clone and that they're circulating these pictures where they show his earlobe and it's all wonky looking, and they're saying that that's a sign that Biden's a clone. So, first of all, that's crazy.
I don't know about that. I'm talking about his incognitive abilities.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to let you know there's one side of this equation that thinks Biden is a clone, and they hate Biden no matter what. He's an alien clone out to get them.
I don't know about that.
If I look at it logically, let's just say nobody's 100% centrist, right? But I'm going to try to be for a second and just be okay, is Biden if you just look at his face sometimes, he looks kind of dementia-y. You know what I mean? It looks like Let me put it this way. Would I trust Biden? Let's say I was drinking at a bar and somebody was going to drive me home, and Joe Biden pulled up in like a little Corolla, and he's like, "I'll take you home." Like, would I trust Biden to get me home? No, I would not get into a car with Joe Biden. So
I tell you what, I used to when I worked in the prison. I had one dorm I worked in at one time where inmates that were 70 to 80 years old, and a couple of them were like him, and a couple weren't.
yeah,
And there's some, even though they're criminals, depending on what type of crime they had, but I would trust them, not because they're criminals or because Biden's not a criminal, but just because they're more cognitive and almost like a 50-year-old
yeah.
drive me than I would.
I don't think Biden's evil. I think he's a nice guy, right? It's not about that. Would you say Biden's a nice guy? Do you think he's a mean bully? Like, really?
Well, I mean, sometimes I see him like a little bullish.
You can think he's incompetent or he's dementia-y. That's fine. I'm just saying, but he's not a mean, classical mean guy, right?
There's a couple of times they caught him on video where he wants to kick people's asses and stuff. But yeah, besides that, most times.
Like, Trump is meaner for sure. Trump is like not afraid, even in his advancing age. He'll like just go to the pulpit and just like get on Twitter and slap. I mean. And that's fine. Like, I'm not.
He has no filter.
I'm not criticizing Trump. I'm just saying, old Joe is like, I don't see him as like a threat. He's not like.
Well, yeah, he's not gonna kick anybody's ass.
And he's also not planning any kind of mastermind takeover. If anything, I would say the whole thing about Kamala coming in after Joe goes and her acting her thing, that's more realistic than Joe being some kind of threat. Like, Joe doesn't know what the fuck's probably going on most of the time.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But I do think he's one of our oldest statesmen in the United States. He does have a history of working across the aisle. He's actually one of the most centrist politicians we've ever had in history. So Joe Biden, I think that Joe Biden in and of himself isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's the people around him, right? I think that's where.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the videos of him from 2012, 2016, and then now, and you can just see the decline in Joe's functioning. Yeah.
But anybody would be like that. I mean, he's an old dude. Like, that's just what happens, right?
Well, yeah. Isn't he the oldest president to ever be elected? I think after Reagan.
Yeah. I mean,
and I think I don't think he's all there, actually.
Yeah, if you notice, he hasn't come out and really made any kind of statements or done any kind of interaction.
He's not going to do what do you call that? The speech they give, presidential address or State of the Union. I don't think he's going to do that. He can't talk without the thing.
And I just don't think,
the thing.
I know, the teleprompters and stuff, yeah. And I don't think he's overtly evil. And I get it, man. Like, I have a lot of far right-leaning friends that love Trump, that were pissed that he lost the election, that think it's stolen and stuff. And I wish there was more evidence, honestly, on the steal. Like, I wish people would show me. Do you agree that the evidence is kind of shaky? I'm not saying there's no evidence.
The only evidence I know that is credible is the computer thing where it's saying every 100th or 1,000th vote went to Joe when they voted for Trump. And that computer program was in 36 or 38 states or whatever.
So that could have potentially swung it on the math.
Could have.
So close.
Could have, in some states. But, I mean, and the other thing is, especially like Philadelphia, mail-in ballots coming in the middle of the night when they stop doing counts, and all of a sudden thousands of ballots are coming in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I remember you and Jam were talking about that. Like, it's what sucks is there's no clean answer. There's no right or wrong.
Look at it. There's a phone here, technology. Here's a simple way to vote, right? You got your phone, you got your phone number. Every time you do something with your bank account or whatever, and they're not sure, that they send you a little code.
Yeah.
How come we can't vote on our phones, for crying out loud? Yeah.
Honestly, because they say that IDs or requiring a phone is voter suppression because it requires money to get those, and that's a poll tax.
I don't know, but there's got to be some simpler way in today's technology to make sure everybody knows that was fair,
Yeah, other countries do it just fine, man. I think I think the voting system itself is politicized in the U.S., and we need a nonpartisan way to set it up so we know nobody's cheating, right?
Right.
I think, of course, if you think that your team got fucked because the other team cheated, hell yeah, you're going to be pissed and want to storm the Capitol or whatever. Who would?
Hey, I wouldn't want to storm the Capitol over that, but
I get it, but I don't want to storm the Capitol either. We're on like live TV, and I definitely didn't. I mean, like seriously, I'm like more left leaning than I am right leaning if I had to choose a side. But I'm just saying, I understand that if people think that their guy got cheated, that they would be mad and they'd be like, well, "What the fuck," And I don't demonize Trump. I actually he had a populist message of empowering the people and telling everybody to fuck off. Like your shirt's you had like a Trump, like it was like fucking deal with it or something. It was like, I liked it. It was like,
fuck your feelings.
Yeah, fuck your feelings or whatever. The cancel culture and all this like woke stuff and people being ultra liberal, it's not like the liberals get a free pass. It's not like ultra liberalism, it doesn't have its faults too.
What do you think about Dr. Seuss being canceled? There's only 6 books, but still, that's 6 books. I don't know about that. They're not even as popular ones anyhow. But.
So I have a good example. Do you remember that Disney movie Song of the South? Like it had like the zippity doo dah, zippity day, my oh my, what Mr. Bluebird, and there was like this black guy in the South. You remember that? It was like
I remember the song, but that's all I remember.
Yeah, so Song of the South, it was an innocent movie at the time, but if you look back at it now, it's like it looks really racist. And I don't know if it's been canceled, but I don't think that Disney is releasing it on Disney Plus or really putting it out.
It's going to be canceled now since you mentioned it.
Well, and it's not like overtly racist. For the time, it was very liberal. But it was showing like people of color in like kind of barely post-slave Jim Crow era like roles. It was very inappropriate.
But was it real? Was it historically real?
Yeah, I mean it portrayed a real.
Anything that I think is historically real, why cancel it? It's showing real history, the way things were.
If anything else, it shows you what things were, so you can make an educated decision on how you want to make your own society, right?
Even with Roots, they're not canceling Roots, and that pretty much shows you how it was, right?
Yeah, and Song of the South, it's a Disney movie. It's not like they're dropping M-bombs and it's like crazy or anything,
Yeah.
It's
no N words right now. Like
I mean, it's not like
there might be a little bit.
They're showing a time that's uncomfortable for people to look back and see, and I think they want to censor that away and pretend almost like it didn't happen. And maybe we should see our ugly side.
I think so too.
Ugly
side is good to look at sometimes.
Yeah. And it's actually that zippity dude. That was like a song that everybody knows.
I know. I don't even know what it's from, but now that you mentioned,
like the zippity dude, zippity. And he's got this little. So it's like a Roger Rabbit thing. It's live action mixed with cartoons. So the guy's got.
What's the name of it?
Song of the South.
So I have to look that up.
Just do it. Can you bust it out on your laptop? You and Jam are always like looking stuff up, man.
Let's check.
Let's pull it up, dude. You'll remember it. It's the little animated. I think it's an important historical film, and I don't think Disney's banned it, but I don't think you can watch it on their streaming service though.
I mean, what's really silly is they're kind of cancel like what's that Southern show, old movie, Gone with the Wind.
Yeah,
and most of that is like fake South. That shit didn't happen. It was all like, like Southern Belle type shit. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Song of the South. Let's check it. I know there's an actual song. Okay, it's not the Alabama song. Okay, Song of the South. Racial discrimination. Let's look at that one.
No, I'm telling you, people do not like the movie, but I grew up with it. Like it was just kids just watched it in the 80s. There wasn't a controversy. I was born in 81, so I grew up watching that movie, and there was nothing wrong with it. It wasn't like we were in trouble because it was just another Disney movie that was just in the stack. Do you remember the Robin Hood Disney movie?
But I've been running it. I've had.
Whoa.
Oh, Robin Hood?
Yeah, Disney's animated Robin Hood. It had the snake as the king, and Robin Hood was the fox. Here we go.
My oh my, what a wonderful.
Everybody knows Zippity Doo Dah, the Disney classic, but it's kind of hard to place which movie it comes from.
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay.
That's all right. Happy cherry blossoms to you, please.
Early Disney films are known for being racially problematic. From particularly offensive depictions of Japanese soldiers in early World War II propaganda,
No, wait, please. Japanese customs say always shooting a man in the back, please. Oh, thank you.
to Fantasia, where the dark-skinned centaur named Sunflower plays servant to the light-skinned centaurs and has since been cut from the updated version of the film. To the blatantly racist Native American tribe in Peter Pan.
I think this is somebody's take on it and not necessarily awesome.
But the worst one of all has been locked in the Disney vault for 30 years.
But here's Song of the South, They say
The
it's
Song
locked
of the
in
South
Disney vault.
takes place on a plantation in Georgia in the 1800s where African Americans and Caucasians live in blissful harmony. There seem to be no problems at all on Grandma's plantation, and that's exactly where the problem is. Like the song Zippity Doo Dah, the Song of the South is utterly uncomplicated, and it strips away any sense of politics, history, or ideology that would be present at the time. It's never quite mentioned in what time period this movie is set, but it really looks like a plantation full of happy-go-lucky slaves who are more than pleased to do the bidding of their masters. Disney tries hard to obscure the fact that the Song of the South was ever released. Slavery and racism are no longer tolerated in modern society, yet both are still prevalent across the globe.
Sounds like somebody's high school project more than anything. But it did show. I do think that it's important, just so somebody watches the video, they don't get upset, that absolutely was it wrong for like anybody to try to show slaves as being happy-go-lucky and like happy they're enslaved. Yeah, like slaves definitely were not happy that they were enslaved, and that's not good.
I mean, there might have been a couple that were happy, like they had good masters and say, hey, my master's nice, he lets me sing songs and dance, and who knows, Who knows, right?
I mean, historically, you could say that, like,
I mean, because really a slave is just like we are. We're all slaves. We're freedom slaves right now. We work for our bosses, some corporation.
Yeah, you can choose what you do in your own time. We're
free to go. We're free to go, yeah, but they're on the plantation. They can't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they can walk across the field maybe during the daytime or whatever,
I don't know. I'm going to side on the side of slaves and say that, yeah, they probably didn't like it.
Yeah. But I'm on the side of slaves also and say, did they have sad days every day of their life? No. I think they probably had some happy moments.
I mean,
just like all slaves through history. Romans, slaves, all the different empires. Everybody had slaves,
I mean,
and I can't say every slave every day of their life was unhappy. I'm sure they had a couple of happy moments.
I mean, that could be said even of like a prisoner of war or something. Like maybe there's a good day.
Even inmates. I've seen inmates be happy. I used to work at a prison. Yeah. I've seen inmates have happy days. I've seen inmates have not happy days.
But I think the criticism of the movie basically came from the fact they were trying to gloss over what happened with a nice Disney veneer.
Right. But it was, what year was that movie made? In the 40s, 50s?
Yeah, I think the late 50s, maybe. Or in their early 60s, late 50s.
So are you going to...
I don't know.
Are you going to take that movie and like totally destroy it because you don't agree with that?
Yeah,
That's-
I mean it's important to look back at the time what people were making. There was like actually, against Asian Americans, they even highlighted in that video like we really had like a lot of discrimination against Asian Americans. The whole Jap.
And they're starting to now too with the Chinese virus. There are people,
Yeah, the China virus.
and there's not only white people attacking Asian people, there's black people attacking Asian people. Slowly, from what I see on the news.
Yeah,
But-
it's definitely very interesting. You're right. We're entering a whole new kind of thing. So
I have nothing against Asian people at all because I know they cook good Asian food. Yeah.
and all people are equal, right? On paper. Right. Okay.
Well, not only on paper, but in real life too. I when I was a kid, there was these Japanese girls at this college, right? I lived right across the street from this college in New York, and in the summer, I guess these Japanese girls came over as exchange students, and we went into these buildings. Me and my brothers, a couple friends, like 10 of us or whatever. We're laughing at the Japanese girls, and the Japanese girls laughing back at us. We're up on their floor, we snuck into the building. We're on the 5th floor, and one of my friends mooned the Japanese girls. And one of the Japanese girls, they couldn't speak English, but she mooned us back, and we're all laughing. I just about pissed my pants because I was laughing so hard. I was like in 4th grade or 4th or 5th grade. And then a couple days later, one Japanese girl I liked, she looked cute. It was like my karate. I don't think Karate Kid was out yet. But anyhow, if I was a Karate Kid, that would have been that Japanese girl. Anyhow, me and my friend are at the college. You paid 25 cents. You could play use the gym at the college. And me and my friend are playing basketball. The Japanese girl shows up, and I'm trying to talk to her, and my friend's like, "We bombed you in the war. We beat you in the war. We bombed you." I'm like, "Oh my god, dude! She wasn't even alive during that war. What are you doing?" And he's trying to ridicule her. I'm like, "Oh, what are you doing?" My Japanese sweetheart. He ruined it for me. She probably thinks Americans are assholes ever since.
No.
You can't beat racism with racism.
You're right. And I think that like it's an issue we have to go a long way on. But more important, like just for the viewers that could be watching or in the future, where's your beer at, man? I just finished mine. Are you done? Did you?
Yeah.
All right. So should we go on to the next beer? I got the Coors Banquet I can throw down.
Oh man.
We're at hour 8. Can you do one more, or are you cashed in for the night?
Well, no, but I got dinner ready. Where's your wife at?
She's actually out doing a girls' night thing.
Oh, well, my God. Yeah, we can do one more. What the hell? What are we gonna do?
Coors Light versus Miller Coors Showdown.
I got Miller High Life Light.
All right. I got Coors Banquet. We'll do it quick, man. We'll just do a quick quick mini, and then I got to go grab some dinner anyway. We'll just boom.
All right, we'll get it. The hardest part about it is typing shit up, yeah.
But yeah, Coors Banquet. It'll be another double review, third double review for the night. It'll be cool because I'll review all the beers in the Coors pack.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
All right.
We'll be back in a second, y'all.
Yeah.
Talk about races and
Triple beer review. Hopefully we just talk about beer.
all right, we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah. Coors Night.